free for intrusion or disturbance in one's personal life or affairs. Of course, no one defines privacy the same way.
Having information to yourself that you don't need to share with anyone else.
It's like having your own personal time and your own personal things, and having just that time by yourself to keep from others from knowing or watching.
Is having your ideas or whatever you would like to be kept away from others to yourself.
Keeping your secrets.
Is doing something without being observed by other people.
I think for me, privacy is the ability to keep things that are uniquely my own, to keep them to myself and not necessarily to have everybody, as we would say, be privy to personal kinds of information.
Privacy is the ability to keep yourself and your information closed from who shouldn't be seeing it.
However, the Bill of Rights does protect privacy on several levels in several different amendments. This includes the First Amendment, which protects the right of personal beliefs, the Third Amendment, which protects the privacy of the home and the right to not house soldiers, the Fourth Amendment, which protects personal property against unlawful searches, and the Fifth Amendment, which protects against self-incrimination. When somebody puts a piece of information out on the web, especially if it's entirely public, is it out there for everyone to see? Some people don't care much, but other people might feel that they're entitled to privacy because it is their intellectual property. When an account is on private, it might be protected with a password, or the owner of the account gives only certain users permission to view the information shared. But how much control do they really have? It seems that these barriers are easily passed. Have we become too comfortable with what we are sharing online? And who, besides our friends and followers, is reading our posts and viewing our photos? People have always been concerned with having a private life, but as technology has advanced over the past years, the world has become a smaller and more connected place.
Once a week, maybe?
I probably use it every day just because I have the apps on my phone, so whenever I'm bored I just kind of scroll through Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook.
Probably like 3 to 5 hours a day, realistically.
I might check Facebook like twice a week if I'm lucky.
Probably a few times a week.
Whenever I get bored.
About twice a day for a total of 10 minutes.
I don't, only because there's almost nothing on it.
Yes, I always have private browsing on so it doesn't save cookies or passwords or anything like that.
No.
Probably my Facebook could be more secure. I might have changed one or two things on it, but whatever it came with, that's basically what I have.
I'm not sure.
No, besides what's already set up.
Like Facebook, you can't see anything if I'm not your friend.
Another hot button issue that has come up with the rise of Facebook is its use of advertisements. Facebook has widgets, the little blue F button on websites that connects you to Facebook, that according to the New York Times is integrated into 20% of the top 10,000 websites. These widgets track where a signed-in Facebook user has been and what they do, using conversion tracking, and adjust the ads in the displayed sidebar accordingly. The reason that Facebook can do this is because people, by using Facebook and agreeing to the terms and conditions, are consenting for their data to be stored and spread. But these terms and conditions are pages and pages of writing that almost nobody spends time reading. In a way, this is how websites can abuse the power granted them by hiding their intentions in roundabout ways, buried under thousands of words. Sure, the user agreed to the terms and conditions, but they didn't truly understand what they were agreeing to. A possible solution to this issue, for all websites, not just Facebook, is to be more upfront about their terms and conditions. Instead of trying to deceive people into sacrificing their own privacy, a more public dialogue of asking what can be done with the personal data collected and gaining active consent from users would be more effective. The people who feel comfortable would provide their consent, and those that don't would not. A more radical solution proposed in an article for Scientific American by Jaron Lanier, a computer scientist and author, is to monetize personal information and make both companies and governments have to pay individuals to access data regarding their private information. This would both incentivize data to be gathered selectively and would also give individuals more control on the price of their information and make them more aware of who is using it and for what.
A similar issue to this is the problem with Apple devices and their ability to track every place they're taken through GPS capabilities. This information is not broadcasted, but encrypted as data somewhere in the phone. Apple has access to a tally of every location a user has been to without any mention of what they intend to do with it. Is this ethical? Apple is a company offering a product. Once you buy it, how you go about using it is your own business. If Apple offered an opt-out where one could ask not to be tracked and be more upfront with the capabilities of their products as far as tracking goes, that would be a more ethical solution that would put many minds at ease.
We sat down with ENC's own professor of psychology, Professor Janet Lanham, to discuss the weight of privacy and security in our world today.
I think as individuals we have a need for privacy because there are certain things in the course of our development, there are certain things that we really want to work through inside of ourselves. That's not something that everybody needs to, be aware of. We want to be able to keep information about ourselves with the people that we want to give that information to, and not to have absolutely everybody have access to that. But the problem is in our society we've got all these other external pressures, like what about security issues? Should we be able to tap into people's phone records? Should we be able to track all this stuff? And so, unfortunately, right now we've got the technology is growing so rapidly. We haven't always asked the questions on the other side, is it ethical to be doing all this snooping that we've been doing and collecting records and trying to find out who's talking to who and who's emailing who. We also have a society that is just exponentially exploding in terms of how people communicate with each other. So now you can be on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything under the sun, and almost to the point where unfortunately, I see a lot of people giving away their privacy so that their whole lives are exposed. 10% of young people don't get the jobs that they want because employers are looking on their public presence and don't like what they see. Sometimes I think people will expose and give away their privacy maybe in the name of connecting and social media, but that may not be in their best interest. I think it's more of a right, because if we only think of it as a privilege, then we're thinking more of like the world of 1980, George Orwell's 1984, that vision that everything should be looked into. And I think as a person, you should be able to have things that are yours, and you can determine who gets to know that part of you.
Privacy, though its definitions and values have changed through the years, is a valued and needed piece of human life. The internet has changed the landscape of how we treat privacy in a big way. Public opinion, especially in the younger generation, is seeing the opinion of privacy shifting from a right to a privilege. However, if we're willing to stand up, protect our already given rights, and defend our private lives as they are, we can keep our identities intact and our sensitive information safe.
How often do you use the internet and social media?
Never.
Really?
I'm partially Amish.